Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all fandoms, welcome to the Ferret Raccoon podcast episode 103. I am the Angry Raccoon.
I am Ace.
And we are back for the first podcast of December and technically one of the last podcasts of 2018, which is, I wouldn't say sad to say, but, I'm getting some feelings.
Yeah, it's weird that it's almost the end of the year. We're wrapping up with our end of the year lists. The next few weeks.
Yeah, we've technically got maybe 1 to 2 more podcasts left and we're done in terms of we say that as if it's serious work or anything. Oh my god, we've got 2 more podcasts to do and then I can finally be with the wife and kids. No, it's not like that.
Ball and chain.
Yeah, it's just...
I hate that term. So
don't get married then.
Exactly.
You can be together and have children without getting married.
Yeah.
It can be doable. I know plenty of people who do that.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. I will say this right now, in terms of the end of year podcast, it's either going to be 104 or 105, and it depends on how much news comes out in terms of from essentially the 11th of December to the end of the year. If there's enough to do a podcast, it'll be end of the year podcast will be 105. If not, it'll be 104.
Okay.
But we will see what happens. We just have to see how things work out for the most part. It's finally getting cold over in England.
I mean, it would be the only day today in which it's feeling a bit warmer than normal because it's been nice and chill throughout the past few weeks. And it's thank you today for changing that.
But even now, it's starting to get cold again,
exactly.
Which is good because, I just prefer the cold weather.
It's just so much better, and there's less people out.
Yeah, it is enjoyable. I'm not gonna take that away from you. But what have you been up to over the last few weeks, Ace?
I've been mostly trying to get through some stuff for my end of the year list, some leftover stuff like that. A whole bunch of games because they were backlogged as hell. But I got to see a really cool film called "How to Talk to Girls at Parties."
Oh, yeah.
It's based on the short story by Neil Gaiman, or Gaiman. I can never remember how to pronounce his surname.
Is that film complete trash?
No, I actually really liked it.
Okay, because it kind of sounded and looked like it.
Yeah, from a lot of people...
Just from poster and name, I mean, guys.
Yeah, from what a lot of people have been saying, I really disagree with, but it's actually a really fantastic 70s punk film, which I love. And I haven't read the actual short story, but all the performances are fantastic. It uses a very nice punk aesthetic through many places, and I was just very heartwarmed throughout. It's really great and really odd at points, and I think people should definitely give it a lot more attention than it's gotten, because, I mean, I've seen the advertisement, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Exactly. But it's genuinely enjoyable. Really interesting messages in. I think at one point there's kind of a mixed message to do with its whole kind of punk persona, but overall I think it gets it down nicely. And I'm pretty sure it's based on a lot of real life stuff for Neil.
I can imagine.
Some bits obviously not where it goes, because there's some very odd parts. But other than that, I highly recommend it.
Okay, fair enough.
Other than that, there was just this really weird thing that I saw today that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Which is an advertisement on the side of a bus when I was literally on my way here. Mm-hmm. And it was an advert for Just Cause 4. And how they have the quotes, it's to advertise a game like this newspaper likes it and stuff. The quote was, "This game is awesome," by Jacksepticeye, the YouTuber. And I was like, YouTubers have the power now to be an advertisement for a game. That's odd.
And of all the people...
Yeah.
Wouldn't you try and pick someone who doesn't have an internet name?
Yeah.
What about the Rad Brad?
Or Markiplier.
Or, any small independent reviewers that exist on YouTube that are slowly being suffocated by bigger journalistic sites.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
It's weird.
Was he the only person who had nice things to say about it or something?
I don't know where he's because I know he's really popular around now. It's him, Markiplier, and I think PewDiePie that are 3 of the biggest.
despite the fact YouTube won't tell you that they are.
Yeah, basically.
According to the YouTube Rewind.
YouTube Rewind's always garbage.
It is always garbage. And that's what's kind of interesting about it, is because it's essentially everything that YouTube is and isn't at the same time.
Yeah, it's all the things they want to advertise that no one cares about. I mean,
except for Baby Shark.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, that. Seriously, the band who did Baby Shark are like probably the most important people in that video. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah.
Like, they are. And they had the best section in that whole thing. Because they are the only people who I knew who they were. Yeah. Except for maybe Ninja. A.k.a. the Joker.
He's such a prick.
Pretty much. Well, don't say that. He'll get you blocked on Fortnite.
Oh no! I played Fortnite once and got bored.
I thought you were gonna say I played Fortnite just 10 minutes ago, not my account.
No,
I have to pry Ace away from Fortnite just to do these podcasts. If it wasn't, it's getting really serious. That's why Ferret ain't here. He's too busy playing that Fortnite.
I know. We're all so addicted to Fortnite.
We're all worried about Ferret.
Yeah.
And his Fortnite addiction.
We haven't seen him in Fortnites.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll show myself out now.
Please do. That is a very interesting poster. Because I didn't know Just Cause 4 was even out. It felt like yesterday that Just Cause 3 came out.
Well, I already know it's out because I saw a hilarious video of someone attaching rockets to a car and then just making it spin around, and they had that Shooting Star song playing. So I find that hilarious.
Shooting Star theme? Or do you mean like the moon theme?
No, the song Shooting Star. The one that people like do.
Oh,
do.
that one.
Yeah,
okay.
That one. They had that playing to it, which I find funny because I find stupid things funny.
I prefer DuckTales moon theme.
Fair enough.
But each to their own.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of bewildered by the whole septic eye. Is that what it's called?
Septic eye. Yeah.
Septic eye. Yeah.
It's like if you've diseased kind of eye. Like septic usually refers to like excrement and stuff, or like stuff that goes in sewers.
Yeah, slap that on Just Cause.
Exactly. Jack in his dirty eye.
No disrespect to all Japanese guy. He's whatever.
Yeah, but I have nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, I don't have anything, and he's fine. He's compared to other people, I'd rather have him over tea than others.
Yeah,
but that's very interesting. I didn't manage to get too much done because for whatever reason, over the last week, I've been feeling very dizzy, and it's been very hard for me to actually get much done because my head has literally been spinning, and I've at some point not been able to write. I did a ton of writing, a ton of planning, especially for Project Briefcase, which I'm gonna talk about soon.
Ooh.
But a lot of writing because I had to catch up on a lot of notes, a lot of creative stuff, planning. The only two things I mainly managed to get done, which I'm a bit upset I didn't get more done, was finally managed to catch up with the GOAT that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 Golden Wind. Finally, and I'm just so impressed with this series. Like, of course, I knew the series was going to be good because it is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Of course, it's going to be, but the team working on it, I think it's David Productions, done such a great job with this series so far. Like visually, animation-wise, just like stylistically, keeping everything solid and correct, but also kind of taking things in the correct way for this medium, which I've been really enjoying for the most part. Like that introduction of our main character Giovanno. I believe Giovanno is he?
I think so.
The main character Jojo.
Giorno,
yeah. I say Giovanno.
Yeah.
Only because that's how I see it. But the main introduction of him was just perfect. It told you everything about not necessarily his character and his personality, but the whole world, this whole setting of this point in time during this somewhat corrupted Italy that it's literally like scam, everyone's got a scam, that kind of stuff. And some of the politics and some of the justice ideas and the trust is a very interesting element which I think works in JoJo as well this time around. Because one of the more famous screen caps from JoJo comes from this series, which is good, and I do like. I'm very impressed by the animation as well. Yes. The background's absolutely lovely, and I'm loving this weird contrast between this almost very realistic like structure and design of the buildings in the world, opposed to the very plain and very cartoony clouds in the sky. Yeah. And I'm really liking that. I don't know if that's reference in the manga, but there it works. I'm really liking a lot of the very dynamic, 360 panoramic views, and I'm liking how like claustrophobic and frame situations are getting. Once again, going back to that whole like trust issue, like I don't trust this guy, can I trust really getting in your face, stick together, we got to fight this guy. And I'm really liking that element. It's really working together alongside this very beautiful and very like punchy looking series so far. And yeah, that scene in episode 6, like that was literally some new animation.
Exactly.
This is some new animation no one has ever seen before. And everyone should be scared.
Yes.
Because that's gonna be like probably one of the more memorable moments of 2018 for me, honestly. Because JoJo's probably gonna be high up there, regardless. Because we're only like what 9ish. Well,
I think 10th episode just came out yesterday.
JoJo Friday, of course. How could I forget? But yeah, we're at 10 episodes in. We got another 29 to go.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's going to be strong. The only other film I managed to watch was a film that everyone has been talking about. Everyone has been talking about it on Twitter. Raven, animated film, you know what I'm talking about. It is The Big Bad Fox and Other Tales.
Yeah.
Finally dropped on DVD and I watched it. It's fantastic.
Ooh.
It's really good. If I'm going to speak to all the parents here, if you are sick of your children constantly watching Frozen this holiday season, get a copy of this film, put it on. It's an hour and 20 minutes. It's 3 short stories, all performed by talking animals. You got a pretty interesting British cast. I know Bill Bailey's in there.
Ooh,
which is
really?
I did not expect Bill Bailey is there, and there's a few other people. You'll definitely recognize some voices, especially the voice of the Big Bad Wolf.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Bill Bailey plays Rabbit.
Yeah.
Just the character called Rabbit, who's basically like a somewhat childish idiot.
Brilliant.
But yeah, it essentially revolves around these animals. It takes place in one setting, which is nice. Like this farm, like little village area where it's like these animals, I guess, are putting on a play.
Yeah.
But it kind of almost like kind of breaks the rule. It's a bit weird where like even after the sections, they're like, characters are kind of coming back in and going, did you like my performance in that? It was great. But then you see that they're kind of still in. It's kind of weird. It's kind of it's almost David Lynch-esque.
Oh, okay.
So if you're a big fan of David Lynch, you'll definitely like The Big Bad Fox and Other Tales. Definitely some inspiration from Eraserhead, and I'm joking with that part.
I was about to say, like, what?
No, but it is a very fun film. It revolves around 3 stories. One where they have to deliver a baby, like the pig, the rabbit, and the duck. For some reason, the duck can't swim. And another story literally regarding the Big Bad Wolf, where he essentially kidnaps a bunch of like chicks. And the other story, which I'm not going to say what it's about, but it is the Christmassy one.
Right.
And that's why I would say definitely watch it around about Christmas time. Yeah. It's pretty fun. But it definitely has it's very witty and very funny. Has a very few funny lines. I particularly like when Bill Bailey's character is like, I just built myself a car, bit of gasoline, match, boom.
Oh no!
Nothing can go wrong. There are very funny like one-liners and stuff like that, and a lot of the characters are very lovable. Like this very small like pig character who's very frustrated by the duck and rabbit character who just constantly just keep getting involved in things and just messing up, and a very lazy like bloodhound dog who just can't be asked to do anything.
Perfect.
You literally just can't. And even the fox character is pretty fun because some of the funniest scenes and lines come from that. And I do like the animation, what they did. Fantastic animation, once again, kind of going for more like hand-drawn storybook style, much like Celestine and Ernest, which was the previous film I believe the duo worked on, which is another fantastic animated film, French animated film. I watch a lot of French animation, so if you want to see something different, definitely go watch this. Especially, it's a good film for Christmas, and hopefully it gets some play.
Yeah, hopefully
in the next coming years, because it is it's like a low-key, like one of the best films of the year.
Is it in English or French?
It is in English.
Okay.
But that's one thing I will say really quickly is I would maybe watch in French if you're not a child or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because I think depending on how they had to kind of fit in the English lines with the original French dialogue, some of the English audio sounds a bit warped and a bit pitched,
right? Maybe
to accompany the talking flaps.
Yeah.
So it's not present. It's mostly present in the first story. So because I think the other 2 stories are animated slightly differently.
Okay.
So that's something to keep in mind. That's the only downside of the film. But other than that, it's flawless.
Nice.
But yeah,
Definitely check it out then.
it's worth watching big time, especially if you want to see something that's not necessarily out there, but something that's definitely different compared to... Because, I mean, animation has been pretty abysmal this year.
Yeah, I can barely... I think the only... I've seen some, like, of the Warner Brothers stuff, like the superhero ones, and those are bad.
Doesn't count.
And I saw Early Man, which was nice.
Early Man, yeah. Early Man is good.
I'm going to be seeing the new Spider-Man one soon. So
Spider-Verse, which I know is... I'm sorry to say this, guys, it's going to be pretty shit.
I like the visuals, so...
Which is fine. Yeah. I'm buying the art book, I'm not watching the film.
Oh, yeah. That'd be a nice art book.
Simply put, I think it's already out.
Ooh.
So that could be a Christmas... I'm going to say stocking, but that book is too big to
fit exactly.
in a sock. You might find it under your tree, guys.
Ooh.
But yeah, pretty... Yeah, I wanted to get a bit more done, but... Like I said, I was constantly feeling dizzy.
Yeah.
So that's not great. But moving on to the fortnight for the most part. And we do have a somewhat busy podcast. But it's been crazy because I think everyone's kind of ramping up for the end of the year. Everyone's either like, no, hold it back until next year. Or no, just confirm it now so people actually have something to care about in 2019. Because much like you said last podcast, I think everyone is already too busy thinking about 2020.
Yeah.
I've never witnessed a time where everyone was like, no, I don't care about this year, I want the next year. And I guess we will very soon talk about what's to come in 2019 and... Ooh, gonna be saving me some money.
Yeah, there's some things are looking very lackluster.
I'm gonna be rich in 2019. But yeah, the first thing we unfortunately have to talk about is Stephen Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob, unfortunately passed away a few days ago, aged 57, unfortunately losing the battle to ALS, which is really saddening to hear because I'd imagine he's going to be missed so dearly by so many children and so many people who are young creators within the anime industry and other industries as well who looked up to SpongeBob and him and what he was about. And it's a massive shame to have such an iconic person passed away because I think the man himself is very underrated. I mean, he was a marine biologist.
Yeah.
And one thing that a lot of articles, especially the one we've linked in the description, hasn't talked about was he created a comic kind of teaching children about marine life around the Florida coast area. And it was essentially about a talking starfish who was living in the California coast, and it was narrated by a talking sun, which later became the SpongeBob character. And so from there he kind of went on to work on Rocko's Modern Life, another extremely underrated 90s cartoon, and he also basically produced, directed, and wrote the SpongeBob movie of 2004. And another thing most people forget about, he also did Sponge Out of Water, the film that recently came out. It was a story conceived by him. Because that's the interesting thing. Despite the fact he left SpongeBob after the film, they bring him back every now and then. Like, he was planned to do the next SpongeBob film as well. Like, they were like, no, if we're gonna... Nickelodeon's just like, if we're gonna go big, we gotta get the original guys back to do this. Which I give Nickelodeon some actual props for that. Unlike some other people... Nickelodeon probably the only people are like, yeah, I want the original team. You guys bring back your show.
Yeah, exactly.
It's your show. We may own it, but it's your show. You know, what you got. You know, which is fine. That's how you kind of do nostalgia or how you bring back something back. You don't just disregard a complete legacy and you don't do no petty stuff like, we're going to have the original cast of Ghostbusters in here and they're going to play different characters to appeal to the fans that we told to piss off. You know, stuff like that. But, It's really sad to have someone like him pass away, and I think it is kind of very fitting that his ashes were kind of scattered across the California coast, which was, I think, very fitting. But yeah,
it's a very sweet send off.
It is big time, and it's a real shame that we've lost like two icons within like the span of a month, being Stan Lee and like Steven. It's a massive shame, and it's such a shame. But I mean, SpongeBob has become such a cultural icon and. For absolute good reason, because I think some people forget that SpongeBob is actually a 90s cartoon.
I know, it's aged so well.
You go back to some of those older episodes, and I think compared to The Simpsons, SpongeBob, as much as people want to rip on, SpongeBob's not as good as it was anymore, there's episodes that hold up.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want to quickly mention before we move on, like, my favourite episode of SpongeBob, which I consider to be just perfection, like, literally perfection. And my favourite episode is The Graveyard Shift.
Oh, yeah.
That episode, in my opinion, is... perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect incarnate. There's not an issue with the episode. It is perfection.
Is that the episode with Advanced Darkness?
No.
No,
I
forget
that's Rock Bottom. Or Deep Bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm that big of a SpongeBob fan. I can just name off season 1.
But yeah, no, Graveyard Shift is a great one.
Graveyard Shift is like perfect.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But yeah, if you've never watched the episode, just watch the episode. It is amazing. But yeah, really, so anything you want to add real quick?
I don't have much else to say, just his life as a marine biologist certainly informed him so much with the show, and it wouldn't have been anything without him. Like, it wouldn't have been the same. He kind of is the whole thing behind it.
It literally is. He really is the creator behind the success, big time. Because there are shows which have kind of transcended past the creator, like maybe shows like Ren and Stimpy, for example. But he really was his show, and that's the reason why pretty much every episode still credits him to this day. It's his creation, his character. And he was a guy who knew exactly what he was doing. Just come to the fact that, just think about the SpongeBob movie. Think about how crazy and how well done that is. This is a man who went from being a marine biologist to writing a comic to making a cartoon to making a successful film that he wrote, directed, and produced. And he's just some guy that they just had, like, keep in mind that film came out 2004. He'd been working on SpongeBob for over 5 years. Guy is competent as hell. And he just made one of the best movies ever. Hands down, one of the best.
I still remember the Goofy Goober moment to this day.
Saw him.
I saw that in cinema.
I unfortunately didn't, but I saw it straight after, and I was blown away.
Good.
I still am to this day when I think about just all the stuff that's in that film, and even the Sponge Out of Order to some extent. I'm like, wow, you guys really went out there, and that's why it's important to talk about people like this. Let's talk about the next story that happened over the fortnight, which kind of fits into maybe what the podcast is going to be called, and that's Everyone Gives Up.
Yeah, so recently the very popular blog site Tumblr has decided that it will be banning adult content. The site is very, very well known for its many not safe for work blogs, which explores a lot of, let's say, adult content that usually doesn't get explored in more popular culture. People with all different bodies, shapes, sizes, everything, all getting to do what they want without necessarily being censored. The reason it's been doing so, or it's said so, is due to the finding of child content on there, which was extremely disturbing to hear about.
And unfortunately, the first time situation like this has been discovered on a more popular website. The main reason why YouTube is very quickly eating itself is because of that same reason. And
the thing is, it's not just Tumblr. Facebook's actually banning any adult content, like words and stuff. Like, even talking about being gay or something, or let's say even in a jokingly manner saying that you're a top or a bottom, they're censoring that stuff. And I think it has to do with a more recent American act passed through called, I think, SESTA or something similar to that, which is essentially about censoring this kind of stuff from these websites. I don't have the full information on that, but that's what I've gathered.
Because I would think they're trying to keep this as vague as possible so they can get their own way, whether it's for a positive or negative agenda. It's the main crux of this is that a lot of people have essentially been getting a lot of their work, their posts, flagged big time, and it's really hurting the site, and it's really scaring for a lot of people. I know a lot of people I follow are just like, yep, you'll find me here. I'm gone. For the most part. And it's sad because the site has now become like this paranoid, censored mess at the moment, where images of just people and toys and other vague things are just being flagged because we're dealing with a very new and very broken AI that just doesn't understand anything for the most part. And there's nothing wrong necessarily with them wanting to make this site much safer for just anyone, children getting all this disgusting stuff off it anyway, because I've posted stuff on that site, like personal and work content, and it's been reblogged and posted in rather disturbing and creepy places, and there's absolutely nothing I can do about the fact that if anyone else would see the image and it's been reblogged or on someone else like that site,
Yeah.
despite the fact there's no content, but it's just someone, publishing this stuff going, yeah, I like that, and it's just like, oh, great, nothing I can do about that. I'm fine with them cleaning up the website, and I mean, they're gonna be going full at it come December 17th, which is when it's just be like, no tolerance kind of zone for the most part. But I mean, it's the main issue I have with it is if they had spent more time over the years actually regulating this site and implementing more tighter rules, people wouldn't even bother putting this stuff on Tumblr because they would know it's a no-go zone. But because they just kind of, much like a lot of websites, so a lot of them are to blame, kind of just like slapped a safe mode on there and kind of called it a day and went like, oh, anything goes. We're kind of in this bad situation where Tumblr and other sites became like this loophole within the internet where you can post this stuff because they just don't care. It can slide, there's no issues, and now everyone else who is not doing that stuff is suffering at the hands of an AI or a system catching up. It's a new AI that doesn't know what the hell it's doing. And honestly, I'm going to throw shade at like a lot of these sites, especially like Tumblr, and say you guys are honestly to blame for the most part to some extent. I'm not condoling what these people have been posting to these sites, not at all. That is not what I'm about. What I'm essentially saying is you knew damn well what can be posted and what would be posted on these sites, and I think it's pretty lazy that you haven't implemented much more tighter stuff on this, which is a massive shame. And now you're gonna lose big time, simply put, and I think we all might lose at this rate.
I think one of the things that a lot of people don't really realize is who ends up getting targeted through these let's say purges. Specifically, a lot of stuff tagged as like LGBTQ, etc., does get flagged as adult content, even if it's just people talking about being gay. That gets flagged for it, and then that gets gotten rid of. And it's one of those things of it shouldn't be flagged, like counted as adult content anyway, but they still get hurt for it.
Yeah, because the problem is this system is going to view that as adult or different, and other people are going to view that as something that, because I mean the problem is the LGBTQ community is something that for most people who aren't as aware of it consider as just a sex thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, they just consider it's a different thing. It's a sex thing. It's all about gender. It's all about this. It's still very new, and with unfortunately having that tag towards it, it's going to go get rid of that. That's not appropriate. That's not correct.
Exactly. But then they still allow a lot of like supremacist like rhetoric and Nazi stuff on
because
their site.
That doesn't have anything to do with what's not already established.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, racism and politics and stuff like that are established things in this world, and no harm according to those people and the system comes of that. So you can say the most hateful, racist, sexist, homophobic thing. Well, no, you can't say homophobic, but racist and sexist things, because that's fine. That's established and that's common in this world. The fact that in this world people are gay is not a common thing to a lot of people and to a computer system. So that's why they're essentially going to purge it, because at the end of the day, being gay just to a lot of people and to a system just means that you have sex with someone who's the same gender as you, and oh no, you said sex, get rid of that, get rid of that.
Exactly.
That's the problem with new technology implemented out of nowhere. It's gonna struggle. Look at YouTube. It's still struggling, and it's been 4 years.
It's one of those things that sci-fi is so good at exploring. Technology and the problem with the human bias. It's, you need some humanity in there, otherwise it ain't gonna work.
You do, but they're not gonna pay anyone to do that, because it is a tough task, but at the same time, if you cared, you'd figure something out.
Exactly.
So I guess we can just leave it at that.
We're
going to talk about some news stories. We did get some trailers this week, and the first trailer we're going to talk about is Artemis Fowl. I believe I'm saying that right, although some people have said it in different certain ways. And I guess the first thing I'm going to say is, hey kids, don't smoke.
Okay.
Like, is this an anti-smoking like film? Because that voice.
Oh my god, I was so confused. I was like, is this a parody?
Great grandma, what you doing in this trailer?
I was honestly confused. What the hell was that choice?
I don't know, that might be some character relevancy. There might be someone who sounds like that. But that's the first thing I thought of, was like, damn, that voice is raspy. Even are they in a rap group?
Tom Waits is looking at them confused. Like,
what is this?
What?
Just you need to put them cigarettes down, my boy. But the main thing I have to kind of come away from this trailer, because I like kind of making predictions and stuff like that, is that if this film is successful, which it very well could be, don't scoff.
Fair enough.
They might as well cancel that Men in Black reboot.
Okay.
Because nobody cares about Men in Black, and already this is far more interesting than Men in Black, coming with Men in Black-ish, just from visual aesthetic vibes. So, I mean, I'm pretty interested in this film. I mean, there wasn't much in this trailer other than Rossby voice.
I think my biggest issue with this was when the kid's, like, in the suit and he's got his glasses on and he's just walking towards the camera like, cool guys don't look at explosions. It looked so stupid.
He looked like a bit of a pompous, yes.
Exactly.
But...
like, the guy with the bow and arrow, cool, fine.
Yeah.
The kid, nah, cut him out.
Because I think he's depicted as a little bit older in the books, and I think that's because they want to do adaptations of all the books.
Yeah.
So I think the plan is sign this kid up for all 28 films, so that by the last film he looks like an adult.
Yeah.
Because I believe he is depicted as a little bit older, a little taller, a little lankier. So I think that's the whole plan, is, you know, get a Harry Potter thing going on so they age appropriately, you know, that kind of thing. But I mean... I'm never gonna get sick of the buddy cop dynamic, and I'm never gonna get sick of big black guy with the child duo. I'm never gonna get sick of that, and I think it works still here because it's like...
be talking about that again later.
Oh yeah, we are. And you know, and I think I kind of like this kind of... I want to compare it to Men in Black because first of all, I hate Men in Black.
Really?
And, not the first one.
Oh, I was about to say.
I hate what Men in Black has become now.
Oh yeah.
A joke.
Yeah.
And you know, I kind of like it kind of going off this more like paranormal secret society underground kind of vague ways. Like, we got to investigate this uprising, you know. I think that's kind of cool, and I think for kids, I know a lot of children grew up with these books. I don't really know what they're about.
I've never read them.
All I know is like a kid's spy stuff, you know, glosses, you know, that kind of stuff. So I mean, that's fine, and I mean, I'm kind of interested. I want to see what they're gonna go with. I don't like the CGI stuff; it looks fake as hell, and I kind of hope that we're gonna get more shots like the woman aging.
Yeah, that was pretty
cool.
Good.
That was really like, that scene was really cool. Like the way they essentially like sped up like the transformation, but you know, to kind of have like this weird unnatural like feel to transformation, but yet kept the clothing like in this like weird floaty slow motion, looked really magical and really unnatural, and that's the kind of stuff that's really interesting. And you know, that's some very interesting filmmaking right there, because someone actually thought about that.
I agree.
Instead of just going, she turns young and flies, they went, no, let's make this actually look visually interesting and very unusual for all ages, and I really appreciate that.
I think when you watch the trailer, try to ignore the kid and the voice, and then you're fine.
I don't think not unless the voice is a character in the film, he might not even be in the film.
I don't know which one would be worse. Like, if they're in the film, you got to hear that. But if they're not in the film, what was the point of choosing them?
I don't know. Because that's the thing. I don't know if anyone... Because obviously, we're going from text to visual. Yeah. That could be a character that no one who's even read the book even knows that's saying. Not unless that's a direct reference to someone saying that. I mean, it kind of sounds like generic, like film spiel, like, the world's changing, you know, that kind of stuff. But... I don't know. I honestly, despite the voice, I thought it was intriguing. Okay. I was kind of I was like, oh, it's interesting. Like, the voice is odd enough because I've never heard a voice like that, and I would be very interested to figure out how they achieve that.
I want to interview them, and they're like, so how old are you? I'm 30 years young. As they take a drag.
Yeah, it's like, no smoking here. I'll smoke when I want to.
And you just see their gills open and like smoke comes out.
They're what's it called when you have like the hole to like actually let you breathe?
Yeah, I can't remember what that's called either.
Which is a horrible thing if you honestly think about it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, I'm kind of interested. I mean, I like the visual of like the kid with like the glasses. It has like all the coding there. I think that's pretty strong. But we'll see what happens with this film.
Yeah.
I honestly kind of just wanted to like beat out Men in Black.
Yeah, at least the more recent ones.
Like, because they're doing the next one, which is...
Isn't Channing Tatum in it?
Who knows?
I think they just keep changing people. It's like,
I don't even think Sony has the rights for it anymore. I think it's Paramount's doing this now, because I think it's Men in Black International is what it's called.
Right.
Hence why it's called MIB.
Yeah.
Instead of it being Men in Black. So it's literally called Men International Black, technically. Oh, that's a title right there.
I'm surprised Disney haven't bought it, because Men in Black is a Marvel property.
It's too scary.
Well, it's a Marvel comic.
But it's too scary.
Yeah.
That's why they're not interested in it, because it's like, think
I
about
mean,
how...
that alien sneezing,
Like, like, the first film is downright ugly.
No, I agree.
Like, that thing is horrible. Could you imagine slapping the Disney logo with a screenshot of that on the back of the DVD?
He's the new Disney princess. You just see him drink salt.
Oh, God.
No, it's sugar, isn't it? Is it sugar or salt? I can't remember.
I think it's salt, because isn't the finale in like a silo, like a foam like place or something like that.
Yeah.
But enough about Men in Black.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our next trailer, which literally just dropped.
Yeah, I think it was the day before we were recording this, or maybe...
Yeah, I think it hasn't even been up for like 72 hours, let's just say.
Yeah. So this is the trailer for the Avengers Endgame, which is probably one of the most final titles you could give something.
No, I'm pretty sure they're going to do a sequel after this.
I think it's technically the end of the Marvel phases, this film. There'll be other films, but yeah, so...
We should say real quick, we're going to not spoil anything about Infinity War. We're going to be very vague. If you have not seen the film, I don't think this trailer really spoils much, but you would probably benefit not watching this trailer if you have not seen Infinity War.
Yeah, I think there is a very explicit spoiler at one point, a picture on a wall.
Yeah, so we will watch this trailer at your own risk, big time. But we are going to be very vague about this trailer for the most part. We will mention names, but we won't give full context.
So everyone looks sad and unhappy.
Everyone feels depressed. Everyone is despairing. I mean, it's so sad to see all these characters literally at like the deepest rock bottom. I mean, the trailer is downright saddening.
Yeah, well... Until one point. But, like, you just see Iron Man's face and, like, Thor just sitting there, like, in pure regret. It's like, oh.
Like that scene of Tony Stark, that is a man tired and defeated.
Broken.
In more ways than any. He's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Doing his thing, and it's very upsetting, the situation he's in. The way it's lit is fantastic. I want that scene to be longer, because that looked brilliant. And even having the offset of the inside and the outside, I thought that was a very interesting contrast. I love the slow pace of this trailer. There's no thrills in this. Yeah. Like, accompanied with that music, the sadness was like the biggest character in this trailer, because some of these characters, you only see the back of their head. They're too busy just being depressed.
Yeah, exactly. I think, like, the biggest thrill was, like, seeing... You know, the guy in the hood turn around, and it's Hawkeye, and I was like, yeah,
that was a surprise. He's just doing his thing, and I'm like,
he's doing his Ronin thing.
What are you doing, my dude? And I mean, the cinematography I thought was very appropriately like distant, but at the same time very close and very claustrophobic, just to really emphasize how much empty space there is. But then again, just kind of show this is how serious it is. I gotta be in your face and talk about this situation. And the real lack of color, I think, was done to the right T for the most part, because you did see color, but it was definitely like very drained. And I just loved how they made a massive point to show how empty things were. Yeah. Like, there's scenes where they could have zoomed the camera in, but they made sure, we're going to show you how empty this room is.
Isolation.
Big time. I mean, I was really, really happy with the trailer. I really hope that they stick with things we see in this trailer more for the film. Not to spoil too much, but I'm going to be very upset if we get the good ending. I know we're going to get it to some extent, and we can kind of talk about this after, but I think certain situations that happen in Infinity War should remain. There should be a cutoff point where it's like, that stays the same, but this will happen.
I agree.
Because I think that is the only way to make these films have the most impact possible.
It needs to be a Pyrrhic victory.
We need that.
Victory at, like, a cost. A massive cost.
Big time. Yeah. So, and I mean, it's not really a spoiler to say this, but I would be very interested, because they have confirmed that this is going to happen, or it's in some capacity. I would be very interested to see if they even have a Stan Lee cameo. Yeah. Given everything that happened in Infinity War, I'd be very interested if he's still in this film. Yeah. Given that his recent passing, and given the fact they said he's still in 3 films cameoing. So whether it's going to be this one but it's going to be interesting whether he is or isn't going to be, and that could even be more interesting, as you know. Everyone who's seen the film knows what I'm getting at, and I'm trying not to just spoil it, you know. But there were massive spoil. I mean, but yeah, it's very interesting. I like the little thing at the end because it's like, hey, that's interesting.
There's a nice little bit of hope near the end.
Yeah, which I think was appropriate, you know, because I think some children are going to be crying at the end of this film.
I think they're going to be crying throughout the whole film.
I mean, some people were legit distraught at the end of the first film, because I think when I watched it with a friend of mine, it was literally like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think everyone kind of walked out the cinema going, oh. And I think, it's definitely an interesting film. And I find it so funny that if they nail this, DC might as well just give up. Yeah. Because there is no topping that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that...
What? Aquaman's going to steal greatest film of the year? It's going to make 12...
Isn't that coming out on December 12th, Aquaman?
Yeah, the perfect time to release your film.
I think that's the same day Spider-Man comes out as well.
The perfect time to release your film. You'd have better luck releasing your film in Madagascar. Because more people will see it.
Yeah. I remember leaving the Infinity War just thinking like, I don't feel so good.
I think a lot of people felt that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, and so soon as April.
I know. We've got Captain Marvel in Feb, and then Avengers in April.
Like, geez, I don't know what to do.
I know.
I gotta get ready.
Got to get my Sunday best.
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy, but yeah. Let's look at our final trailer, which is going to be Happy
Death Day to You. Which I hate that they did it in like the number 2 and just the letter U. It really annoys me.
Well, there's a reason why they did
I
that.
know.
Now, I'm just gonna say it. The original film was complete rubbish.
I disagree. I found it funny, but like meh.
I think it's complete rubbish, and I honestly use this film as a way to kind of tell how experienced people's opinions are based on films. If anyone tells me that Happy Death Day is a good film, I'm going to think either two things. Either they're under the age of 15, or they have a very poor, lacking experience of films.
I can agree. Like, that's me. I found it entertaining, but I'm not going to say it was a good film.
Not a good film.
But... yeah, this one, Happy Death Day to You. I have to keep looking to remember exactly it.
Because it's such a memorable name.
It's not good.
It is though. I keep remembering Happy Death Day.
Free me.
Free me, yeah.
Free me from this film.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, essentially, it looks like it's even more over the top to the point of farce, which I don't like.
It's basically, people really like that. Let's just do that again, but more.
Yeah.
People like the scene where she kind of walked around naked, but let's do that again.
She's gonna jump out of a plane this time.
Oh my gosh. Can you believe that? Is this film a comedy, or is it a horror film, or is it a sci-fi? Pick one, motherfucker, because you can't do all three. Clearly, you can't.
Yeah. It really reminds me of that line that literally destroys The Hangover 2 in half a second of, wow, it's happening again. It's like, you're self-aware enough to know, but not self-aware enough to know that it's a bad thing.
This is why you don't do a sequel. I mean, 22 Jump Street did it perfectly.
Exactly.
Because
especially those ending credits.
Yeah, the ending credits basically destroyed any potential of there ever being a 23rd Jump Street, which Sony wanted to do.
Yeah.
Sony was not actually aware that this was actually going to be part of the film, and they went, well, we can't do that now.
Exactly.
Which is good. I mean, they don't know what this film is. They want it to be a comedy slasher, but they fail on every account. And you know damn well you saw that damn stupid metal machine in that classroom. I know. And you know that the reveal is going to be disappointing and stupid as hell. It's like, oh, the students that made the time machine, and that's why you're stuck in the loop, and I just wanted to be your boyfriend.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, no, this is too far.
Yeah. Because they're going to try and explain everything.
You don't need to. Literally, she's stuck in a time loop. She needs to fix it. You're done.
You're done. You could have just
Groundhog's
had that.
Day isn't a hard premise.
No, it's not. It's very simple. And why you thought you'd rip it off and no one would notice, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like one of those things that's just become a staple storytelling, like Rashomon now. It's
But still, what?
Yeah.
Do you think no one would notice?
Yeah.
Just because your budget is under 10 million, you thought no one would notice?
Just gotta reuse this clip again.
And also, the killer's mask is probably one of the worst I've ever seen in my life. Like,
Okay. I love and hate it. I love it because it's a reference to the New Year baby. Okay? And that's literally it.
oh,
The rest of it just looks stupid as fuck.
yeah, it's, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about how bad this film is. If you go see this film, screw you.
I don't plan on seeing it. I saw the other one on Netflix or Amazon when it was on there for like a week.
This is the kind of film you steal,
Yeah.
simply put. Because, yeah, this is the reason why when actual horror comes out, no one watches it. This is the reason why people went, Hereditary is not a scary film.
I mean, I didn't find that scary. I found it quite funny.
But it is a scary film, though. That's the thing.
In premise, yeah.
In premise, yes. But too many people went, it's not scary. It's not, you know, and it's like, oh, it's because you were expecting a jump scare, you dumb baby. That's not what horror is. Horror isn't cheap. It can be cheap and done in the right way, but not cheap in this sense. It's the same reason why so many people hated Resident Evil 7 was because they want jump scares every 5 seconds, and they were like, oh, it's not scary. There's just no jump scares.
Where's my Chainsaw Man?
Where's the chainsaw Man?
Oh, yeah, there was a Chainsaw Man, actually.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, but that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Unlike other horror games. But yeah, so that's going to bring us to our discussion, which is going to be the Game Awards 2018, the winners, trailers, and much, much more, because there was so much we have to talk about. It finally happened on the 6th of December.
And technically it was the 7th of December for the UK, because it was like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So, and I stayed up all the way until 5 watching this.
Giving you that early coverage. Guys.
Exactly.
But yeah, we're essentially going to be talking about, well, let's do the winners first, because that's what we did, last podcast. We talked about our predictions, and I think most of our predictions were pretty much wrong to some extent, obviously, because...
I anticipated one game would win way more awards than it did, which shocked me.
Yeah. And I guess we'll talk about the main one, which is Game of the Year going to God of War 4.
That pained me inside.
Like, really?
It's so lackluster.
Like, other than Assassin's Creed Odyssey, everyone else deserved to win.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey at the moment, and I'm enjoying it. It's not Game of the Year. It has some good stuff, but, yeah.
It's got gameplay until it stops you from playing. I love that structure. No, stop playing and do these things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think every other game should have won just on the principle that every other game essentially had actual gameplay compared to God of War 4. Because God of War 4 is too interested in being a sappy, boring story as opposed to gameplay.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think a lot of people forget about with games is the mechanics should help tell the story. You know what?
But he throws Thor's axe or whoever's axe it is. Isn't that cool? Isn't the tech impressive that even despite the fact that you can lose your axe, it still somehow comes back to you, even through the floor?
Yeah.
That's not very technically advanced, is it? No, still Game of the Year. Also, best game direction goes to God of War, and that doesn't...
Wait, oh no, I was thinking the art direction. Yeah.
No, direction.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, because did God of War 4 win it because it's structured like a film, or did it win it because it was such a different direction from the original games?
I think it was because it's a film.
But that's not the point of the Game Awards.
Oh, I know, but they still want to be cinema.
Right, so that's very confusing.
Yeah.
Almost as if, like, categories are busted.
Oh, if we want to talk about busted categories, like,
I just want to say one thing real quick.
Mess.
Because if the game won because it was such a great different direction from the original series, shouldn't Far Cry 5 have won?
Yeah, I mean, Far Cry games kind of depart each other every single game.
It should have default won. There shouldn't have even been a vote. It should have been, well, this made the biggest change in direction.
Yeah.
So Far Cry 5 wins unanimously.
Yeah.
Like, stupid.
Nah, didn't deserve it.
No, it did not deserve it. God of War is just garbage.
Yeah.
If you like it, that's fine, but don't tell me it's a good game. It's not. It's repetitive as hell. You gonna tell me Game of the Year has you fighting the same 7 bosses over and over again? That's Game of the Year?
Shite.
Is it? Think, people. Is that game of the year? You fight the same damn troll with different elements over and over again. Game of the year, 10 out of 10.
But he's got a big pillar in his arm. It's a weapon.
Oh, you fight the same Valkyrie over and over again. Is that game of the year? No.
There was actually there's a YouTuber I watch called Joseph Anderson, and he did a video on God of War. He likes it way more than I think he should, but him talking about the Valkyries, he basically destroyed them.
Yeah, it's stupid. I don't understand. You people are like way too whipped. Apparently, every other game is now gonna be focused around having a child now because that's the new big thing.
Well, I mean, Last of Us, it's kind of set that horrible standard.
Yeah. God, if you guys think this is game of the year, you're gonna be shocked when you actually play a game.
Oh, it's true.
Like, as much as I don't like Spider-Man, play Spider-Man, you're gonna be shocked. You're gonna be freaking out because you'll constantly be playing the game as opposed to sitting down watching a cutscene.
Wait a minute, I have to actually swing around? Can't I just walk?
Oh,
slowly?
Can't the cutscene take me there?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I want to swing around the city.
Oh man, I have to fight these. I have to change up my combat. Oh god.
Where's my boy button?
Oh man, my brain's hurting. I have to do a puzzle.
I have to do these like really simple puzzle arrangement stuff. What?
Oh no, likable characters. Oh no.
When can I pick up a pot and walk 10 meters and put it down? That's all I want.
Are you telling me my spiderwebs don't come back to me? Oh. Where's Spider-Man's son? Oh. That'd be
Where's Spider Boy?
Oh, where's Spider Boy? Where's Spider Baby? Where is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't enjoy a story unless it's like being pandered to me. Oh man. Oh, where's Spider-Man's dead parents constantly being shoved in my face all the time? Oh. What is this story about saving the world? Why can't it be about Peter trying to bury his dad? Oh.
Where's the evil mum that's kind of a direct opposite of the good dad? I mean...
Where's my poor boss battles? Where's my recycled boss battles?
Where's my God of War 2 tease with 4 at the end?
Do they really tease 4?
Oh, they literally tease 4. Right at the end, you hear thunder, Kratos walks out the door, and you can see the hammer with lightning on it. It's like... No, fuck you.
Why is that an issue, though? It's
because
like he's gonna kill him.
Kratos killed Balder, so now Thor wants revenge.
Oh, that memorable character?
Yeah.
Who just died?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kratos is gonna kill him. It's like,
of course.
Why even tease that?
Because they gotta let people know there's a new one.
What's this game gonna be called? God of War 2?
Yes.
Or is it going to be called God of War 5?
No, it'll be God of War 2020.
Oh yeah, they're going to rush that, aren't they? God of War 2019. Get ready, kids. Get ready for more.
Jan 1st.
Jan 1st, yeah. Now that would have been an announcement. Oh my gosh. But yeah, bottom line, God of War is complete garbage. If you like it, fair dues, but don't try and say it's a good game.
Yeah.
Because it is not. I will destroy you and put you in a coffin if you even try and tell me it's good.
Destroyed, gone sexual.
Simply put, must watch, no skipping.
Not clickbait.
Not clickbait.
It's just such a memorable, stupid line. Have to do it.
It is. There were some positives regarding some of the awards. Return of the Obra Dinn.
Return of the Obra Dinn.
Obra Dinn.
Yeah.
Won Best Art Direction, which was awesome. Very well deserved. And Celeste getting Games for Impact and Best Indie Game. Yeah. Really deserved as well. I'm glad they picked up some things.
A really sad thing, though, is that for Games for Impact, they just instantly announced that, Celeste has won Best Indie Game and Best Games for Impact.
I hate that.
And the thing is, Games for Impact was the only thing that the missing was nominated for, and it didn't get read out at all. And Swery was actually really sad on Twitter about that.
Yeah, because that's one of the best games of the year.
Exactly.
If anything, I think that should have won next to Celeste, because that actually had some serious impact given some of the situations implied in that game. I mean, people want to wipe their tears over Life is Strange Episode 2. You want to wipe some tears over that game.
Yeah.
Like, geez. I mean, I love how Dead Cells won over Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and Destiny 2.
I know.
That was great. Definitely the better games of the two, hands down, big time. Glad Life is Strange 2, Episode 1, and Detroit Become Human. Sorry, I got so angry I just smacked the mic. Become Human got nothing.
Yeah, I was sad that the voice actor didn't win the...
Yeah.
Instead, it was the one for like Red Dead Redemption 2 one. I was like, okay.
I think he did okay, but...
Give Brian the award. He deserves it.
He deserved it. The only time we're going to talk about esports is Best Esports Player going to Sonic Fox.
Yes, and he had the best stuff to say. Like
he did. Well, first we're going to talk about how he came up with his like fursuit on as well.
Yeah.
And he...
Which is exactly what he did after winning Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yeah.
Which I think I said Smash like last time we talked about it by accident, but yeah.
It's fine. I honestly love the fact that he brings so much positivity to everything, and he was so honest that he was like super nervous about it as well. And I respected him keeping it real, mentioning things and making light of himself, being a furry, being gay as well, and also giving a shout out to furries as well, the LGBT community as well, and making a very funny sly remark about, was it Republicans, was it?
Yeah, it was I'm gay, black and a furry. Everything a Republican hates, which is so good.
Which was quite funny. I really did like that. I just loved him just being on stage. I think he was there. I mean, he was the only person I know of. Yeah. So, fair dues. And I also want to say to all the haters of Sonic Fox, you're just jealous of another young, successful black person getting attention. That's all it is.
It really is.
So keep hating. That's all. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
You guys are only just going at him because you're going, oh, he's a furry and he's black and he's gay. Easy target. Yeah. You think he gives a fuck?
He's the best esports player. He's like the best Dragon Ball player. He doesn't give a shit.
He don't care. He don't care. He's laughing at your jealousy, man. But yeah, that was probably one of my biggest highlights of like the show next to the trailers, which you're going to get to in a sec. We've got to talk about the show. I haven't seen the whole show incarnate, but there will be a link to the whole show if for whatever reason you want to watch it, along with all the winners, all the trailers in the description and download link. I got to ask you some questions. This is mainly going to be directed at you. What was up with that anti-vaping ad?
Okay, so it was really confusing. Like, first, an anti-vaping ad just pops up out of nowhere, and it was constantly spreading this thing of, like, people with vape are 4 times more likely to smoke cigarettes, and it kept saying that, and then, like, I was like, wait, was that real, or am I hallucinating or something? And then it came back up, and there was another one being told by, like, some e-streamer or something, I don't know, and then another one, I was like, why are you telling us to stop vaping?
It's very odd because as much as I don't care for vaping, I always assume that was just like a common thing. That, obviously I know there's debate as to whether it's healthier or not. It's healthy as smoking, whatever. But like, really, it's weird.
Considering a lot of people jump from cigarettes to vaping to get healthier as like a process. Yeah, that's really fucking odd.
I don't know. Do you think maybe it was like do you think maybe it was actually like promoted by like the actual cigarette company? To actually get people back to smoking cigarettes, perhaps?
Possibly. I mean, that'd be fascinating if it is, because cigarettes aren't allowed to actually be advertised due to regulations, I think, in the 80s?
Yeah, but they could still do something like that.
Possibly, yeah.
If they're going under the guise of it's for a good cause. Yeah. We just want to keep people healthy.
Exactly. Which, if so, that'd be shady as fuck. And
big time.
Yeah. I wonder if that was like a major sponsor for the Game Awards, because there weren't that many non-gaming advertisements during this, which was shocking.
I guess they maybe wanted to focus more on trailers, and even then the trailers weren't like crazy groundbreaking stuff, which we'll get to in a bit. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I thought that was very odd to hear about that. Also, I somewhat, maybe not on recording, but definitely within your messages, I called it Joker being in Smash.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said exactly him going to be in Smash, but I definitely remember saying to you at some point.
You said someone from Persona.
Someone from Persona will definitely go in the game. So,
I know, Joker in Smash was such a
perfect choice.
Magic. I was happy.
It's a good choice. Also, can we talk about that wrap it up sign?
Oh, yes. Okay, so when people were giving their speeches, they'd have this, like, sign pop up saying, please wrap it up. But then over time, it got bright red, flashing, saying, wrap it up. And it's like, are you shitting me?
And that's assuming that people on the stage can even see that, or read that. Sonic Fox probably couldn't even see that when he had his fursuit head on.
Exactly.
And no, I'm not gonna wrap it up.
No. Let them. It's an award ceremony. Let them celebrate.
I mean, and first of all, this kind of goes against what was said last year. This ain't the Oscars.
Exactly.
Like, why are we trying to be more like that? You had almost like a clean run for the most part. You're doing this rudeness.
Yeah, that was fucked up. And then I think the other worst part was just quickly skipping through awards.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, because people deserve the recognition. As we say, whatever you want about awards and that kind of stuff. A lot of the time, the thing that's actually great, and the reason why we focus so much time on this, is because a lot of the time we get genuine people just come out and they are just like, oh my god, the little game I made over the course of like 12 years got some recognition. That's what it's all about. That's what I care about. I don't give a damn about God of War actually winning, because the director is complete garbage, and the only real heroes of God of War 4 is the animation team. Yeah. In my opinion. Writers and voice actors. I'll give voice actors.
And all the people that actually had to work on developing the game.
The people actually made the game. The person who directed it and wrote it, fuck him. Yeah. He ain't important. Yeah. It's those people who actually make the game, which is why the Game Awards should be taken seriously and a bit more focused time. So I appreciate, even if it was like with Celeste, even if like no one was there to represent it or something like that, you talk about that game. You play a damn trailer. Yeah. You know what I mean? You mention every single game.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the things of nominations can really help sell a game. People might not have heard it before. They see it's nominated for an award. It's like, oh, that must be really good.
Especially with a category which is the most overshadowed one, like that.
Yeah. It's an abysmal thing to do. And I found it weird that despite the fact that they had the same problem in the last 2 years, they introduced more categories this year.
They shouldn't do. They need to fix the ones they already have, and I really think I need to really downplay on that esports stuff, guys, because it's...
There was 6 new esports stuff this year.
I'm sorry, as much as people want to get into esports, it's not as important. It's not the future of gaming, and it doesn't deserve as much time as it needs to be. I'm sorry if people feel like I'm disrespecting their craft or its seriousness, but it does not need that much attention. At the end of the day, video games will be around for another 10 more years. Esports and you esports players, you won't be around in 10 years' time, because there'll be a new fad. Either it'll be VR or live streaming or some other rubbish like that. Because, I mean, it's what they're trying to push at the end of the day.
Or at least they could do a separate esports like award ceremony, separate from the Game Awards.
They have enough esports events anyway, so just do it there. Yeah. But whatever. Let's move on to trailers.
Yes. So,
you want to go first?
Do you want to take turns, or
we can take turns?
So a whole bunch of trailers were shown, and one that I want to talk about first being I'm probably even going to get the name wrong. The Outer World.
No, it's the Outer World. Yeah,
Outer World by Obsidian, which threw some nice shade at Bethesda there with the from the original creators of Fallout and the developers of Fallout New Vegas, which some people like Fallout 3.
Todd Howard was gritting his teeth.
Exactly. They've got their own kind of post-apocalyptic, anti-capitalism-ish looking game, which basically looks like Fallout, but RPG. And I kind of love it.
It's corny as hell, and I really didn't appreciate the very painful attempts to be quirky and funny.
Fair enough.
That was not working for me, because it really looks like it's trying to ride on the coattails of Borderlands. Someone was playing Borderlands just a little bit too much.
The thing is, that humour was in the original 2 Fallout games in the late 90s.
But not to this extent.
It was, I mean, more in Fallout 2 than Fallout 1. But Fallout 2 was very much that style of humour.
I don't know. I mean, it's a new game, so that's cool, but... whatever. I can see this game just dropping on a shelf one day and being like, whatever. I don't see it getting going that far for the most part.
Fair enough. I'm excited for it. I'm always excited for games that actually have RPG mechanics.
Which is every game.
I meant good RPG mechanics.
No, every game's an RPG now.
No.
God of War 4, one of your favourite RPGs. I mean, that should have really been up for Best RPG if you really think about it. The RPG system in God of War 4 was so complex, it'll literally have you in the menus for hours because it's so poorly made and designed.
Gotta love UI.
That UI is awful.
But one cool thing that I really want to talk about, because I actually did see a gameplay demo as well, was a mechanic system called the phobia system, which essentially, when you encounter specific enemies or lose to them a lot, you end up gaining a fear to them, which will have a penalty, but you can also get a perk from it. And I've actually only seen this mechanic in one game before, which is a really underrated PSP game.
Shadows of Mordor, or the Genesis system, one of the best systems in all gaming. I cannot stop talking about the Genesis system.
Nemesis, and I do like that, but it's from a PSP game called Zeta Hero Project, Unlosing Ranger vs. Dark Death Evil Man. It's made by the same people who do Disgaea, and it even has Prinnies in it. That one actually has a fear mechanic very similar, where dying from hunger or traps or enemies will get you a fear to them, and the only way to get rid of it is to beat them. So I'm happy to see someone else is having a similar concept, because no one played that game. And it's got so many good ideas.
And now they stole it.
They didn't steal it. It's influence. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
We'll see how it goes. They didn't really show much off, so
yeah,
whatever. Main thing I want to talk about is Psychonauts 2.
Yes.
Finally getting to see some gameplay of this game, which I'm really happy about. And we are overall going in a very dark direction.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. For the sequel, I mean, the main villain of the first game is just lying there on a table, look like he is being tortured. I mean, Lily's father is just laying there unconscious. Lily is the girl. One of the girl characters you see there. And what is it? You have that very concerning scene with Ford, who is the old man, just surrounded by shattered things, and I'm like, right.
Yeah.
Okay, and plus that figure that just emerged from the water is downright creepy. Like, what the hell is that? Like, a lot of the characters are creepy, and there are freaky visuals. Like, you have to look at the last level and the last boss to see how freaky things get. That
was a frustrating level, though.
It is a frustrating level. It's technically the worst level, but I still love it.
Oh, the game's great.
No, the game is fantastic. Yeah. That's why it didn't sell so well, because it was too creative. I honestly believe that game was so creative that it sold poorly, and no one ever tried to outdo it, because they can't.
Which is why it's still the best 3D platformer.
One of the best, yeah.
Shots fired.
Simply put. I mean, Raz's jacket looks cool.
Yes.
I like the mother lobe. That's a pretty good pun. I'm liking this whole setting within their central HQ. I think that's pretty interesting.
I was happy to see the emotional baggage back.
Yeah, emotional baggage is back, and some of the enemy designs and the worlds, the snippets we got to see look pretty interesting so far. They don't want to show off too much, I know. Because, I mean, I think Psychonauts probably has some of my favorite levels of all time. I mean, you only go look at just as an example, without spoiling too much, the Milkman's level.
Yes, yeah.
My gosh. Whew, just thinking about that, man. But yeah, I'm so looking forward to this game. It's looking pretty clean. It's looking pretty nice. It needs a little bit more polish, but obviously the game's not out for a little bit too much longer, and that was definitely a little bit more fixed gameplay kind of snippets we got to see. But yeah, cannot wait to see how well this game does. Hopefully people actually buy it. I think they will, given how nothing is coming out next year.
There's so many indie games that no one's talking about.
That game could technically be an indie game.
Yeah, I'd say maybe AA, mid-market or triple. It's a mix.
And I guess I would take the next game, which is Mortal Kombat 11, literally the most out-of-nowhere game for the most part. Was not expecting that. We are clearly going through some time travel themes here, so expect another soft reboot and everyone to return. The cinematic was actually pretty fun, for the series, very standard. I like some of the creativities of the violence. I thought the blood animation was pretty good as well.
Yeah.
I like the flowing of it. It looked pretty good. And then the rap music started.
Oh, no. It did not fit at all.
Now, I don't want to reveal anyone's race on this podcast, but I can definitely say someone on this podcast is black. But at the end of the day, we were both embarrassed when that rap song started playing.
It felt so out of place.
I don't know who's rapping, and I don't care who's rapping, but could they have not got someone who is understandable?
Yeah, exactly. I had no idea what he was saying. at all.
I'm sick of this mumble rapping because all I hear is, I'm going, because that's all it sounds
Mortal
like
Kombat.
to me. Yeah, that's all. The only line I heard was like Mortal Kombat, because that's what he got paid for, was to say Mortal Kombat, and then it was just like, you just we'll leave the mic recording for 3 minutes. You just do your thing. It's kind of like the artist Solucious Left Foot, who kind of has like that kind of mentality. Look him up if you want to actually hear something interesting in the rap game. But that kind of really just ruined the whole trailer, honestly. And I do like the screen cap of like literally, Scorpion dies, rap music playing, and it was like, oh god, how messy is that?
I think the thing is, as soon as I saw Ed Boon coming out, my instant reaction was that moment from the X-Men cartoon where Wolverine is like uncovered in scorpions, and then there had to be 2 scorpions in the trailer, didn't there?
Of course, he loves Scorpion.
It's his favourite character in the world.
What other trailer do you want to talk about? Because we need to wrap this up.
Yeah, so it was very, very brief teaser, but it was for Dragon Age 4. And it started off with everyone's favourite punching bag, Solus, the let's just call him the evil bastard who everyone loves to hate. He's incredibly good with his ideas, but his ideas are awful. And he's finally coming as the villain, and we finally get to kill him, and I'm very excited.
Okay, fair enough.
So, yeah.
Wasn't much to go on. I guess I'll just drop down a few others to talk about. We had the confirmation of Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled, which is finally like a remake of the original Crash Team Racing game. It was had Far Cry New Dawn.
Yeah,
I don't think it's really part of 5, I guess.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of a post-apocalyptic sequel to 5, where what happens at the end of 5, this is like 17 years later, and the twins that it shows in the thing are the main villains. So, yeah.
I'm kind of done with Far Cry, but I just wanted to mention it looked kind of nice to some extent.
Yeah.
And we had some more Devil May Cry 5 gameplay, and I was really happy to see Max Landis's gameplay debut.
Fair enough.
It's very interesting. He's definitely been getting in there, but it's good to see him doing a bit of motion capture and lending his voice to the character of V. Very nice to see him, take a break from his producing and filmmaking to star in Devil May Cry 5. If you don't know who Max Landis is, go look him up.
Emo May Cry 5 is looking nice.
It is.
So reminded me a lot of DMC Devil May Cry, and I'm happy with that.
Don't you bring that up.
It's the best game of the series.
Is already long enough as it is. And I guess the last thing we want to add, as soon as we're pretty much done with the Game Awards 2018, is our video of the episode.
Yes.
And it is a long one, guys. It is simply titled Shrek Retold. And it is from 3GI. It is a retelling of the original Shrek film done by over a few hundred people, essentially remaking, doing their own interpretations and scenes of the whole exact film.
From
and it
live
is
action
amazing.
to animation.
It is an hour and a half. It is the exact film.
It is amazing. I love it.
I was very impressed by this. I was very impressed with what people did with it. I'm very impressed with what people didn't do with it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised with what made it into the film.
I think some of my favourites ended up being the live action stuff. They were amazing.
Some of the live action stuff was bootleg.
Exactly.
I particularly liked how someone was either so lazy or so genius that they just took gameplay of Dark Souls.
Yes! And they just put Shrek's face over it.
And I was like, I still to this day, I'm wondering, I don't know if that is genius or just the most laziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, there was this thing where, I can't remember, Bill Gates, he was like, if I had to interview 2 people, a lazy one or a competent one, I'd get the lazy one because he can do it quick. So, lazy people.
Oh gosh, please watch this film.
Yes.
It is pretty amazing. I want it to get millions of views.
It's a top film of the year.
Possibly, quite possibly. Anything else you want to add to this podcast before we wrap it up?
I think that's it, really, yeah.
Okay, well, as I said at the beginning of this podcast, either podcast 104 or 105 will be the end of the year best of the worst of 2018 podcast. So I would say, as of right now, start doing your list for the most part, because we will see. But other than that, we will see you on the next podcast, whatever that will be. And I guess I'll end this podcast like I always do by saying I was the Angry Raccoon.
I am Ace.
And we will see you on the next podcast.